Welcome to Mindful Me. I'm your host, Dr. Marga Zarraga, family medicine physician and life coach practicing medical aesthetics and wellness based in Greater Boston and Needham. This show was born out of the needs I saw as a medical doctor. People are curious and are even demanding information and options on how to get healthier, and more importantly, how do we all improve our quality of life? And quality of life, simply to me, is how do I feel good from moment to moment, minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day. It's my goal to highlight to you, our viewers at home, the knowledge and experience of various experts from both mainstream and complementary disciplines to inspire action in our communities around the areas of self-care. My recent journeys has inspired specifically a challenge for this community, which is how do I create a masterpiece out of me, pushing on that mindfulness journey towards a goal. Something for you to think about as we do our episode today, and welcome Melanie DeNittis. She is a mind, body, and wellness expert and author. She integrates multidimensional healing, intuitive readings, and coaching with spiritual activations and transmissions that help clear what is stopping healing in a person. Melanie trained with an India yoga master and also saints and has integrated yoga, meditation, and self-healing practices into her work, where perspective shifts, timeline shifts, and she up-levels even faster those that are around her, with their human mind perceiving that realization. Welcome to Mindful Me, Melanie.
Thank you for having me, Marga.
This is a very big pleasure on my part. This is why I love doing the show, is I have an excuse to invite the best people so I can just drink in their wisdom. So I want the audience to know how basically you've come to your journey and what's inspired you to be at this moment of your life where, you know, compared to some of the experience I have with regular medicine, these are deep dive experiences. From a personal level, any life events, what has led you to decide that this is the journey that, I think you've done this for a while, but I would like the people out there to know what drives and motivates you to continue on this journey with people, the deeper dive.
So much of what I do and practice is because of my personal experience and what I have gone through and how I have healed myself. And really, I began my story, it kind of begins with me on my hands and knees on the floor, unable to walk from a neurological condition. And I turned then, this was in 1999, to yoga and practicing and really getting back the control over my body by being more in control of my mind, which of course began with breathing. Our breath controls our thoughts control our mind, and then we are bringing all of this awareness of what are we thinking and how is that impacting my physical body and my health. And so that began a lifelong journey of integrating mind, body, wellness, and integrative medicine, because regular medicine just really doesn't always work for me personally. So I had to just explore other things. And with the spiritual development and personal development that I have practiced and integrated, I have a very deep spiritual practice that really informs all of my work. So that is how I tap into, being a divine channel and receiving information from cosmic intelligence that really helps, that is what heals people. It's connecting to their own innate healer and the wisdom within.
When you do this, you mentioned that you went through your own healing, but why didn't you stop there? What compelled you to overflow and serve others?
I have studied with some of the saints from India, yoga masters, and the teachings that I have received are handed down word of mouth. And so it is very sacred to me, but I, with age, have realized that it is a real gift, and I can't just be holding light and have a key that can unlock your potential for healing, for greater awareness, and just be selfish with it. Like, because I went from being unable to really walk to being able to heal myself and help others on their healing journey.
And what in the last, I wanted to challenge you with like the last 2 weeks, for example. Where are you in that journey with others right now? I'm sure from beginning yoga to where you are right now, you've evolved in your wisdom. So what's coming up for you that our audience can benefit from right now, as like, where are you at in that evolution, and where are you leading people to when you have your conversations and sessions?
The biggest thing that I can say is following my own intuition.
Okay.
And that means that if something isn't working anymore, I listen and I move. So I am always creating experiences to deepen my teachings and what I'm receiving. And really, one of the biggest things is yoga and balancing the energies of the masculine and the feminine, the sun and the moon, the hot and the cold, the left and the right, and how that is all met at the heart. And so the more we are integrating modalities to help us live in a balanced way, depending on what we're consuming, whether that's media or water or other things. It's like everything we put into our body and into our mind is information that we can use or that can cloud our thinking. And so it's choosing how to move forward.
Mm-hmm. And what I'm getting from you is, first, there's several things to kind of pull from what you said. So you said that when something is not working, you move from there. And I think of regular people that come to me every day feeling stuck. And how is that relevant to what happens when you don't? Maybe talk about that. When you don't listen to intuition, what does it look like?
I think we all have that experience where we've had a little gentle nudge, like, no, you shouldn't be in this situation anymore. You shouldn't be in this job anymore. You shouldn't be in this relationship anymore. Like, we all have those things over a lifetime, and we learn the hard way, and this is where it's taking back your personal power and making empowered choices and decisions based on what you know is true for you. It's moving in truth. And so
I feel like people need to realize, just listening to this, there's two ways of learning. One is with pain and one is with pleasure. And when you seek out teachers, examples of people that you can follow, emulate, reflect, contemplate, I would suggest that is the more pleasurable thing, the pleasurable way to evolve ourselves. I also want to talk about, I've talked to you about evolution. I believe people don't realize that they're growing, changing, and evolving every day. That said, I feel like the message of this show and its many guests is to make a choice. Which way are you going to grow? Which way are you going to evolve? Because if you don't even make that choice, and I hope people are listening well, if you don't make that choice and listen to guides like Melanie, guides like even Melanie had guides. When you don't take that in and make the choice, you actually risk evolving backward or being stuck. So that's the first thing I wanted to pull from what you were saying. And tell me a little more about healing, but tell me when we return. We'll be back after a short break.
Welcome to the Needham Channel, where you're a community-based television station that covers all things Needham. We cover sports games, community events, town politics, and more. We also produce shows created by town citizens, so if you have any ideas for a show, we're here to help. We have a live news program every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on all Needham Channel streams and on our Roku app. Also, be sure to check out Needham Local, our online news source where you can read up on all the latest happenings and headlines around Needham. Visit us at needhamlocal.org and sign up for our newsletter to never miss a breaking story. We're always looking for volunteers who want to learn more about anything television related or gain valuable experience working in the news media environment. To find out more about the Needham Channel, visit needhamchannel.org or email us at info@needhamchannel.org.
Welcome back to Mindful Me. We have Melanie DeNittis today, and we are now discussing everything to do with pain, pleasure, learning, healing. Take it away, Melanie. Share with them what we were discussing off camera.
Well, when you said something about pain and pleasure, it is a choice. I wrote a chapter about this in Global Conscious Entrepreneurs, and it's called Discover Your Secret Weapon, and it is about your mindset is your secret weapon, and it's the choices that we make. And so when I was hypnobirthing, I hypnobirthed both of my children, so it was a natural birth, but I was in a hospital environment. And so the expectation in a labor and delivery unit is that you're going to be acting the way we see on TV, like the screaming and all the things. And the nurse kept coming to me and saying, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your pain level? And I wouldn't respond. And she would say, you have to answer me. And I would say, P is for pleasure. And patient's not cooperating. Well, the thing is that for me, that was about staying in the mindset of I can do this. This isn't about pain. This is an experience that I am having. I am giving birth. This is a superhuman capability that all women for all time have been doing. And so really you have to use your own process. And everywhere around you, people are telling you it's supposed to be hard, you're supposed to be stressed. It's just in the way we talk.
Yeah.
And so really just watching our words, really so specifically, what are you choosing? Are you choosing pleasure, even in one of the most painful things that there is, right?
So on pain and pleasure, you talked about choices. After choices, I think we have to reflect on creation. So we co-create. Even the environment that we're in, the design of the space to the words we use, people don't realize you are always creating. And so what you are basically saying is, I want to create this, and the people around you had a different vision of what they're creating, simply because that's their training. And I come from that world. Along those lines, I've actually started being very watchful of what words I use with patients, but I inform them. Like, I know this is your diagnosis. However, I'm filling up this form. I'm going to write that diagnosis here, but I'm not going to say it. I mean, in other words, I'm not fooling you that you have this diagnosis, but you're not going to hear it from me, because right now we're connecting, and that you're working on your, I start directing them to what are the productive steps. But I'm just saying, now we're crossing over to healing. So I believe in creating new ways of being with each other, new ways of relating with each other, new environments. I think that leads to healing one-on-one right now, and bigger small groups, communities. Like, if we first realize that we have a choice all the time, we are creating all the time, and we have tools. Words are tools. Design is tools. Science is a tool. Medicine is a tool. But put that all together, and that's where the genius happens. So, what are your thoughts, further thoughts on healing?
I think what you said about being a doctor and being so careful with your words is a gift that you're giving to all of your patients, because often when people have a diagnosis, it becomes their identity, and they don't separate their sovereignty and their ability innately to heal. If you want to attach to just an idea and then, live in doomsday all the time, rather than, okay, how did I get this? How do I heal this? And what are the things that are going to support my healing and which are the things that are not? And then deciding very intentionally, draw a line, and you step over it. I'm gonna, eat an anti-inflammatory diet. That's a choice for your healing. And yet, that doesn't mean you get to eat cupcakes, for dessert every night, because you made a choice.
I love how we're going through this playground of words and power, basically giving back power to where it belongs. I also want to say that thank you for affirming my recent choices on how I practice, but also one thing I've shared is the same way I share this stage with you today. I share with people that when you make choices, medicine is one choice. And you can do this in combination with therapy, in combination even with your spiritual life. Look at all of your tools and where are you at right now? Where are you open? And I meet a spectrum of people who are not ready to do any work at all, and people who can do all natural, people who are waiting. Some people like to wait, So I think my call, I guess, to the cosmos, the universe, is to bring to people like you and me who are impassioned to help, people who are ready. And I feel like that's what this show is a tool. This show for me, when I come on, I pray that whatever message we put out there falls on the ears and the spirit of the people who need to hear it. And so since I shared how my read is on my community, who are the people I think you mentioned? Tell us about the kind of people who are benefiting from your guidance.
Really, I do find that people are very spiritually open to really want intuitive guidance, spiritual guidance. But to your point about your community, let's remind everybody that prayer is a form of medicine. We are studying now that sound healing has great benefits, and just reducing stress has improvements on your total well-being. And so really sometimes people think they're not doing the right things, or they're not doing the crystals, and they're not doing card readings, and they're not doing personal development reading or audiobooks every day. But maybe they are doing the right things if they are, sitting in contemplation or listening to healing music. It can be simple, I think.
Definitely it can be simple. I think one accelerator, though, I said it a while ago and I'm saying it again. I heard a speaker say this, so I want to emphasize it. If you want to accelerate your self-care journey, put yourself in proximity to a person you admire, or is just winging it, or is just having a ball in life, impassioned, working, serving, loving. If that's the kind of person you're seeing, I challenge you to make space to make that person more proximal to your life experience, to keep on asking questions, and to basically unstuck yourself from just saying, oh, this is just how I am and how I will be and ever will be. any thoughts on growth for our audience?
You are unlimited, and you can really change in ways that are hard for your human mind to perceive, but it happens so much faster when you really are committed and you are really connected to your truth. And really, it's just desire of what you're going to be open to. Sometimes also people will come with something on their heart, like, I really want an answer to this, I really want to know how to change this, I really want to know how I can heal from this, or tell me something specific. And the truth is we don't get to choose what our guidance is or what is right for us. It's what is the truth. And it doesn't even mean right now. It could mean something from your past or from your family or from your ancestors that you are living in this reality with that is affecting, like, it's like clogging the channel of like, whoa, wait, why am I stuck? Why am I keep thinking this thought? Why do I keep, doing the same thing over and over and over? And so in a session, sometimes we can clear that, and then, people just feel lighter and have more confidence and clarity, and it can be life-changing for people.
I totally agree. And we are gifted by your time, your energy this morning. I really drank that all in. I hope the people out there did too. This has been another episode of Mindful Me, today with Melanie DeNittis. It is a gift that we have all shared to be with you today and to experience your energy. And, the way that you described your journey, you made it seem easy, but I'm sure it was not. And because of that, we have the pleasure of learning from you. So thank you so much for coming here today. Again, we hope you can join us for another episode. This is Dr. Marga Zarraga. Please look for Mindful Me with Dr. Marga Zarraga on YouTube and Facebook. We will see you again.